Games. Hi, my name is James. This is James Loves Games. And June is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I wanted to put together a video of some of my thoughts that I've learned over the past 38 years of my life, from reading news articles, watching videos, talking to people I know, and of course my own personal experiences with mental health problems. And I made a list of 7 things. And excuse me, I'm actually overcoming one of them right now. One of my own issues. And so I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna try to do this video with no cuts. So if I ramble on for a while, that's why. I'm trying to work on something myself, so you'll know in a second. But number 1, I want you to know, well, first of all, that I'm not a mental health expert or anything of the sort. I'm just somebody who's lived a lot of life, and I've noticed a lot of things, especially in the last 5 years or so, that have really kind of opened my eyes and helped me through some situations and helped some people I know. And so hopefully they can help you too. So number 1, I want you to know, and I have a list, so if I'm looking down at my desk, it's because I have a list of all the things I wrote down. Number 1, know that everyone has some sort of mental health problem. And what I mean by that is, when you think about physical health, anything can go wrong with your body, right? I mean, you can get a cramp in your leg. Your knee can just pop out of place. You can blow out your ACL. You can have a heart attack. And I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm just saying this as an example that, stuff happens to your body all the time, and people have no problem talking about it. In fact, if something happens to your body, people love talking about it. They love talking about, oh yeah, I had surgery. I had surgery on my patella, or I had a hip joint replaced, or, it seems like people reach a certain age and that's all they want to talk about. And it's just so commonplace. And yet people are very, very hesitant to talk about their own mental health problems because people are going to label them as crazy or stupid or mentally deficient in some way, which is really, really unfair. Because it's so stupid, because it's something that we're all susceptible to. And I would say all of us have some degree of mental health problem. And by mental health problem, I mean something that's either diagnosable by a psychiatrist, all the way down to just being insecure about the way you walk or the way you talk, or just being depressed or having suicidal thoughts. I mean, I think everybody struggles to some degree with these kind of issues. And so the first thing that I want to say is that that's okay. We're all human beings. Nobody is perfect. And anybody that says they're perfect is struggling with some deep issues about insecurity. So there you go. Case in point, tonight, this is actually my second attempt at making this video. I spent about an hour and a half setting up all of my equipment earlier because I wanted the video to be just perfect. And I've realized, becoming a YouTuber, that I have a huge issue with being kind of a perfectionist when it comes to a lot of my videos. I know you probably can't tell by watching them, but there's just little things that bother me, and I have a certain vision for how things should turn out. And I get really, really frustrated with myself when things don't match my expectations. Even though outside observers can see it and say, oh no, you did a great job, it looks great, you should post it. I've made dozens of videos that are just sitting on my hard drive or were quickly deleted because they just weren't up to my own ridiculously high standards. And so I'm trying with this one to kind of move past that as an example. And so I don't know if that's just I'm insecure about people viewing my videos, and so I try to make them as polished and perfect as possible. Like, I fretted over all the stuff on the wall back here on my background, and I had to double check it all to make sure it was fine. I was all upset about having the microphone in the screen for my last video, and the audio was off, and I just, I had to get to the point where I say, enough's enough, just make it. And, but that's just one of the things that I struggle with is, just kind of letting go of my really unrealistically high expectations of myself and my own abilities, because it's really not fair to me. And I tell you this just to show that myself included, we're all in the same boat. So, it's okay. I was also going to do a bunch of fancy cuts and have text go across the screen, but I'm just going to read all these off my list because I think I was watching it and it seemed really like disingenuous when I was trying to make it all like produced like a news show. So I'm just going to talk about it because it makes me feel more comfortable. Number 2, eat right, exercise, and sleep. And this is something you will hear from everybody your entire life whenever you have a problem. If you're like, I feel overweight, I can't sleep, I'm depressed. Eat right, exercise, and sleep. And I guarantee if you do those 3 things, you can knock out most of your mental health problems. I won't say guarantee, that's a bad way to phrase it, but I mean, that's the kind of the root cause of a lot of issues people have because, your body, your physical body can't function properly without proper diet, exercise to some degree at least. I mean, walking around, and a healthy amount of sleep. And your brain is a part of your physical body. And so, of course, your brain is not going to function optimally if you're not taking care of your body. So if you're lost and you don't know what to do, just start with that. Just start with that for a couple weeks and see if your mental state improves. And I will say that it probably will. If you just cut out the junk food and cut out the drugs and alcohol too. If you're having problems and you find that you drink a lot or you do a lot of recreational drugs or prescription drugs, you might reevaluate a lot of that because your whole outlook can change pretty quickly when you cut that stuff out. And I'm not saying you should just completely cut out alcohol or whatever, but it certainly helps, I think, kind of clear your mind and things will just make more sense. But yeah, eat right, exercise, and sleep. Big, super important and really kind of obvious. It's just people don't want to do it. I myself included. It's 12:29 in the morning, and here I'm telling you to get some sleep. So chew on that. Number 3, live in the present. It's kind of the cornerstone of a lot of philosophical schools of thought. Just being present, living in the now, and enjoying life as you're experiencing it. And I think a lot of people who get really anxious about stuff, if you're prone to anxiety and worry, it's because you're not thinking about right now. I mean literally right now, this moment. You're either regretting something that you've done in the past. Oh, I wish I would have done something differently. Or you're worried about something that's going to happen in the future. And, as far as regret goes, I just what I tell myself if I'm ever feeling bad about a choice that I've made. Obviously, if it's something you've affected somebody else's life, you should make amends with that and try to make things right. But if it's something from high school where you did something stupid and you got in trouble or whatever, you did what you thought was a good choice at the time. I think if conditions were the same, you probably would have made the choice again. So don't beat yourself up over it. You can't change it anyway. So just you got to just let that go. As far as stuff in the future, if you're worried about something in the future, whether it's a job interview or an exam or an awkward conversation or whatever, surgery, giving or receiving, ask yourself if there's something that you can do right now to fix that problem. If it's an email, send the email. If it's a phone call, make the phone call. If it's something you can fix right now, then fix it right now. If you can't fix it right now, then don't even think about it. If you got to prepare for an exam, go study. But sitting there worrying about, what's going to happen, it's just going to make yourself and your entire life miserable up until the point it happens. And odds are, whatever it is, once it does happen, it's not going to be nearly as bad as all that time you spent worrying about it. So just, something I tell myself, I'm laying in bed trying to get to sleep, and I'm worried about something that I got to do the next day. Whether it's like a big event or something like that. I'll be laying in bed and I'll just say to myself, you can't do anything about that right now. Whatever happens tomorrow is going to happen tomorrow. But between now and when your alarm goes off, your job is to sleep. Tomorrow, your job is to do that big photo shoot or whatever. Tomorrow, your job is that big court date. Tomorrow, your job is surgery. But right now, your job is to get some sleep so that tomorrow you can do your job better, so that you can actually function. And so I have to tell myself, your job, the success of whatever happens tomorrow depends completely on how much rest you get right now. So this is an extension of tomorrow's events. So go to sleep. And I just kind of force myself to keep that mindset. And hey, you know what? I've fallen asleep every night. I've tried it, so maybe it'll work for you. Number 4, don't get caught up in imaginary scenarios. Now, tell me if this has ever happened to you. You're driving home from work, and maybe you see a sign on the side of the road that reminds you of your partner, romantic partner, whatever, your girlfriend, boyfriend, and you start thinking about them while you're driving, and then you think, oh yeah, she was talking about that new guy at work. She said he's so funny. Oh, and she said he was single too, and kind of handsome. Uh-oh. I wonder if she's cheating on me or going to lunch with this guy behind my back. Maybe they've got a relationship going. Maybe they make fun of me while they're on their little lunch dates while I'm slaving away at my office. Maybe she's planning on leaving me any day now. And then by the time you get home, you're so worked up from all these imaginary scenarios that you're ready to break it off right then and there just to save face. When in reality, it's just a fiction that your stupid brain has created. I don't mean to say your super brain, but it's all fake. You just made it up, and you've created this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy where you just shoot yourself in the foot, relationship-wise, and all over nothing, all over an overactive imagination. So stop that. I used to do that more often. That was like in high school. Whenever I would have a girlfriend, I was always very paranoid in high school, very insecure young lad in high school. And I was always very jealous and paranoid. And so I would constantly be creating these scenarios in my head and just making myself miserable day in and day out. And, eventually I would, break it off because I foresaw that happening. And then I ended up torpedoing the relationship just because, I was worried that the relationship was going to end, which is just the dumbest thing ever. So don't do that. I don't have a solution to stop doing that. I just have to say, try to be aware of it. If you start imagining a scenario, if you find yourself getting angry and you're just sitting there in silence thinking about something that's not real, maybe you should just check yourself and say, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Everything's fine. Number 5, nobody is thinking about you. Everybody is thinking about themselves. So, you ever gone to school, gone to the office, you've gone to the coffee shop, and you think everybody is watching your every move. You think you walk into a store and instantly everybody's like, oh my goodness, look how weird that guy walks. Look at his hair, it looks so awful, he needs to get a haircut. Who is he fooling? What is he, like 38, trying to pretend like he's 20 years old? Okay, nobody's thinking these thoughts. I'm thinking these thoughts, right? I'm the only one thinking about myself and how I look in how I walk and how I carry myself. I'm hyper aware of every movement I make when I walk into a building. And I got news for you, okay? Here's a little secret. Everybody's doing it. It's not just me. It's not just you. Everybody's obsessed with themselves. Everybody in line at the coffee shop, they're all thinking, am I standing straight enough? Am I standing up too straight? Oh no. Okay, am I gonna say my order right? Okay, it's a venti, half calf, latte with foam. Extra foam. Okay, let's try it again. A venti, half calf, latte with extra foam. Okay, I'm gonna say it right. And then you fret yourself about how you're gonna say it, and then you get up there and you say it just fine. Everybody does this, okay? We're all trapped in our own heads. Okay, so give yourself a break. The people at the store are not watching you and silently judging you. And if they are, who cares? Right? They're not. But let's say there's a group in the corner that's just watching you the whole time you walk in. How weird is that? How weird is that you came to a coffee shop with other people and you're just gonna stare at people in line and judge how they're walking and talking? That seems like its own sort of unhealthy behavior, so I wouldn't worry about that. So yeah. Number 6. Make a routine for yourself so that your brain can relax. If your brain can predict what your body is going to do every day, and your brain doesn't have to guess, your brain doesn't have to get all anxious and worried about the unpredictability of your life, and they know, okay, 7:30, he's gonna wake up, right? He's gonna get some coffee, he's gonna go to work, 12:30, he's gonna come home and eat lunch, okay? Then he's gonna go back to work, 5:30, he's gonna come home, eat dinner, he's gonna mess around on his computer and play video games for a while, maybe 10:30, 11, 12:30, 1 o'clock, he's gonna go to bed. Your body needs a schedule. Your body needs a rhythm. It's very much in tune. And I'm talking like the routine should be very thorough, and you should just do the same thing every day so that your brain knows, it's time for food. It's time to wake up. It's time for sleep. It's time to go poo. As weird as that sounds, your body enjoys a routine, and things just run more smoothly, physically and mentally, whenever you take all the guesswork out. All right, finally, number 7. This is the most difficult one, which is why I put it at the bottom of the list down here. Create a network of people who lift you up and make you better. And I realize that, talking about mental health, it's really hard to talk about, right? That's like number 1. Know that everybody has this problem and we should be talking about it more. But people don't, generally. And so it's hard to connect with people. If you have issues with anxiety or abandonment or paranoia or depression, you're not just going to go out to mixers and meet new people. You are the antithesis of that if you have all these problems. And so it's kind of like a catch-22 situation where you need to go meet these people so that you can get rid of this problem. But because of this problem, you can't go meet people. And that's why it's at the bottom of the list. If you take care of all this other stuff, do 1 through 6, and then if you still got a problem, lean on some other people. But there's some easy housekeeping you can do. Get rid of all the bad influences in your life. And I think you know what I mean by bad influences. People that make you feel bad about yourself. People that drag you into bad behaviors. If you're a recovering alcoholic or drug addict, you probably shouldn't be hanging out with your friends who like to go drinking all the time or who like to go do drugs all the time. It's a bad idea because inevitably they're going to drag you back down. It's the crabs in a bucket scenario, You're trying to get out of the bucket and all the crabs are just dragging you back down. And, you really have to just evaluate your own life and your own relationships one by one and decide this one is not good for me. And it sounds selfish to say it like that, but you have to look out for yourself. If you're going to improve your mental health, you have to look out for yourself. Take care of yourself first, and then once you are secure in yourself, and once you are comfortable being who you are, and you can sort of increase your sphere a little bit at a time. But you need to cut out all those bad influences. And that could be an abusive partner, an abusive spouse, abusive parents, abusive friends, abusive former roommates. It doesn't matter, okay? If somebody makes you feel bad about yourself, you shouldn't be around that person. Now, it's different from somebody who maybe gives you constructive criticism so that you can get better and improve yourself. But if somebody just calls you worthless and says you'll never amount to anything, get that person out of your life. That is not something anybody needs to have around, and that's not helping anybody. All that's doing is feeding the ego of the other person, the abuser, because they have their own issues, and they take it all out on you to make themselves feel better. So they push you down to make themselves feel higher up, when you need to be around people that all lift each other up, okay? And so one good resource for that, and I will put a link, or not really a link, but I'll type it out in the description. The NAMI helpline. That's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the NAMI helpline. I think it was 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. You can call them 1-800-950-NAMI, NAMI. That's 1-800-950-NAMI 6264. 800-950-6264. And you can call that 10 to 10 U.S. Eastern Time to talk to people if you're having a problem. If you're having an emergency situation and it's outside of those hours, you can actually text the word NAMI, N-A-M-A, or N-A-M-I, spelling, N-A-M-I, to 741-741 for any emergencies you have after hours. Also, something you can do, and this feels like a shameless plug, but I kind of want to throw it out there just because I think it would be beneficial. Feel free to jump into the James Loves Games Discord chat. I try very hard to cultivate a culture of positivity with the James Loves Games family. We call ourselves Zealots because we're so excited to be friendly with each other, I guess. I don't know why. Cultist was just bad PR, so I changed it to Zealots. But if you want to join our crew, feel free to hop in the Discord. There's a link, invite link in the video description. And, I don't like haters, which is one of the hard things about being a YouTuber, is you have to put up with that stuff. You don't have to put up with it, which I don't. So I try to keep all the negativity at bay. And if anybody starts spewing anything like that, making other people feel bad about themselves, they're out. I have a swarm of mods on the YouTube streams and in the Discord chat, ready to swing the ban hammer on anybody hating. So if you want a cool place to hang out and talk to some people, maybe about some issues, I know a lot of people on the channel have opened up to some of their issues, and I'm really proud of those guys. Excuse me. I'm really proud of those guys for opening up during live streams to talk about some of the problems they're having. And I'm immensely proud of them for taking that step. And, I'm proud of my community that I've created, and I love every one of them. So if you want to hop in and join us, we can talk about whatever. We can talk about games. If you just need a distraction, we can just send some funny memes and talk about games, or we can talk about some real stuff. So feel free to hop onto that. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. This is kind of like a weird therapy to me. This video is like 24 minutes long now, almost. And I really wanted this to be like a quick, super high edited, very produced kind of like real polished video. And it's very difficult for me. I'm coping with it, but it's very difficult for me to just kind of let this one go uncut because I tend to ramble when I don't have a good script. Who wrote this? Oh, it was me. Anyway, if you watched it this far, God bless you. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, call that number if you're having a problem and you want to talk to a professional. If you just want to talk to some good lads, hop in the Discord. And I will see you next time right here on Game.